Good evening everyone. I'm the storyteller and I'm here to help you today. I know you use this video to fall asleep, so before that, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, where are you from and what time are you watching now? Get comfortable and relax.
The Last Broadcast, by Black Hollow Stories, Part 1. The Static Beckons. The cassette tape arrived on a Tuesday, wrapped in brown paper so old it crumbled at the edges. Mark Ellis, the graveyard shift host of WKZR, found it on his desk when he arrived at the station that night. No note, no return address, just his name scrawled in shaky, spidery handwriting across the front. "What the hell is this?" he muttered, turning the tape over in his hands. It was unmarked, save for a single word etched into the plastic, "listen." Mark wasn't a superstitious man. At 42, he'd seen enough of life to know that most mysteries had boring explanations. But something about the tape made his skin prickle. Maybe it was the way the air in the studio seemed to grow colder as he held it, or the faint, almost imperceptible hum that seemed to emanate from the plastic. He slid the tape into the ancient deck beside his console. The machine whirred, clicked, and then, silence. For a moment, he thought it was blank. Then the static began. It wasn't the usual white noise of dead air. This was different, deeper, almost alive. It pulsed and hissed, like the breath of some unseen creature. And then, faintly, a voice emerged from the chaos. "This is WKZR, broadcasting from the end." The voice was distorted, as if filtered through layers of time and distance. It was a man's voice, calm but with an undercurrent of desperation. Mark leaned closer, his heart pounding. "If you're hearing this, it's already begun. The walls are thinning. They're coming through. You must warn them." The voice broke off into a guttural scream, abruptly cut short by a burst of static. Mark jerked back, his chair scraping loudly against the floor. He stared at the tape deck, his breath coming in short, shallow gasps. What the hell had he just listened to? He rewound the tape and played it again. This time, the voice was clearer, more urgent. "The date is October 15, 1973. This is my final broadcast. They're here. They're in the walls, in the air, in the static. They've been waiting, and now they're coming through. You have to stop them. You have to." The voice cut out again, replaced by a low, guttural growl that made Mark's blood run cold. He slammed the stop button, his hands trembling. WKZR. That was his station. But in 1973, the station hadn't even existed back then. Or had it? He'd never bothered to look into the history of the place. It was just another dead-end job in a dead-end town. He pulled out his phone and started searching. It didn't take long to find the answer. In 1973, there had been a radio station called WKZR. It had gone off the air abruptly, without explanation. The building had burned to the ground a week later, killing everyone inside. Mark stared at the screen, his stomach churning. This had to be a prank, some sick joke by one of the other DJs. But the tape, the voice, it felt too real. He played it again. This time, he noticed something new. Beneath the static, faint but unmistakable, were other voices. Whispering, laughing, calling his name. "Mark." He froze. That wasn't on the tape before. "Mark." It was coming from the speakers, from the walls, from everywhere. He ripped the tape out of the deck and threw it across the room. The whispering stopped, but the air in the studio felt heavier, darker. He grabbed his coat and bolted for the door. Outside, the night was still and silent. The parking lot was empty, the streetlights casting long, jagged shadows. Mark fumbled with his keys, his hands shaking so badly he could barely unlock his car. As he drove home, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. The streets were deserted, but he kept catching movement in the corners of his vision, shadows that darted just out of sight, figures that vanished when he turned to look. By the time he reached his apartment, he was drenched in sweat. He locked the door behind him and poured himself a drink, his mind racing. What had he stumbled into? And why had that voice sounded so desperate, so final? He didn't sleep that night. Every time he closed his eyes, he heard the static, the whispers, the laughter, and the voice. You have to warn them. End of part 1. What would you do if you found a mysterious tape like this? Would you listen? Or would you destroy it? Comment below, if you dare. Stay tuned for part 2, where Mark's investigation takes a dark turn, and the voices begin to follow him home. To be continued.